How's it going, everybody? My name's Warner Fields with Fields of Profit. I'm a six-figure Amazon seller, full-time student, and today I'm here with my friend Danny. He is a massive seller. He did over $250,000 this month, right? Or somewhere around that.
Correct.
So yeah, we're just going to get into his business model, how he does it, and hopefully you can learn a thing or two. So how'd you start? How'd you get into Amazon?
So the truth is, I got into Amazon from our mutual friend at Flips for Miles. I saw his post on his story. He was doing like 10 or 20K a month like 2 years ago. And I thought, well, this kid from my high school can do this. You know, I can too. I was a broke college student. I needed money. So I got in. I started going to bookstores, Goodwills, libraries, and just started selling used books. That's how I got started.
For sure. That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's how a lot of people get started selling books and stuff. And then you'll reach a point where you can kind of no longer scale. I know I hit that with books, probably 15, 20,000 a month. I don't know what you hit with that, but I was like, man, I probably can't go any higher with this. And so I moved on to Wholesale. And did you move on to OA or did you go on to Wholesale?
So with books, I actually tried to continue scaling it. I got a warehouse. I left college for a semester, got a warehouse, realized it wasn't for me. Then the pandemic came around the same time. And then I started getting into OA and Wholesale, which was always the ultimate goal in mind. It was kind of start with books, learn mistakes cheaply so I don't make very expensive mistakes. And then I just started transitioning into OA, Wholesale, and going with that after books.
For sure. Yeah, I think that's a good nugget for you guys who are just getting started. I get a lot of messages and stuff saying, how do I start in Wholesale? How do I start in online arbitrage? It's kind of risky. I'm just talking about how it's a good way to reduce your risk. So if you're just making like $1 mistakes or $2 mistakes from those thrift stores, that's why I always recommend people who, especially if you don't have a lot of startup capital, to go ahead and start with books. So that's cool that you kind of touched on that as well. So now you're doing a lot of Wholesale.
Yep.
So what has this year looked like for you? Like we said, you're doing 240. Has it been like meteoric growth or like?
So I was doing mostly OA from I'd say about January to March, and then just some of the Wholesale relationships I started kind of leveraging. Those started coming to fruition. People I've been speaking to for almost a year now, building those relationships, even buying product almost at a loss to sell it, just to build that relationship with some of my distributors. All of that's starting to come to fruition now, and I'm starting to get really good deals and discounts on products.
Nice. So you said you kind of buy products at a loss or like break even. So when you first find those distributors, are you kind of just buying all at break even or loss, or like how does someone new kind of approach that strategy?
So I would never intentionally take a loss on a product, but I may be talking to a sales rep and they tell me they have a decent deal on a product, and you know, when I look at it on Amazon, it might not be the best deal, but I'm able to tell that they want to move this product quickly. So I may buy a good amount of it, knowing I'm either going to make close to zero or a few bucks profit per unit, just to kind of make my sales rep happy and kind of keep building that relationship. So I might buy that and say, okay, I'm gonna buy this, like buy X product from you, but when Y product goes back in stock or when you get more inventory, I want that allocation at this price.
Sure, yeah, I think that's good. So I think that strategy is great, but I know like personally, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate, you don't have like a ton of capital sitting around to break even on. So, so like at what point do you consider implementing that for your strategy?
We're out
as well.
Oh, all right. Thank you, man. God bless you.
No bottle of water. That's staying in.
All right. So I'd say if you're struggling with capital right now, I'd obviously leverage the cash you have available. If you are working a job, possibly continue working that job just to keep building capital. For me, the big changing point in my story was definitely when I got my American Express account. So I was able to get my American Express business account, max that card off, pay it off, and then my limit kind of kept doubling up to where it is now, where I'm able to really leverage capital. Now, obviously you have to do that smart. You can't max a card out and then not be able to get that money back in 30 to 45 days. If you do that, you're screwed.
Yes, I would say getting that Amex Blue card helped me out a lot. There's going to be probably a link down below if you want to check that out. But I would say that the Amex Capital Unlock is great. I've gotten 2 new credit cards this week myself. So if you're able to kind of, it's a little bit of a risky strategy, but I'm sure we're all doing it at this level, kind of spending maybe above what you actually have, and then by the time your payouts come in, it'll come in.
Water, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, no, that's not good.
That's a bad idea.
Drink salt water. Yeah. Don't drink salt water.
Those are both staying in. Yeah, so capital limitation can be pretty tough So you could get those bigger credit cards and stuff to go ahead and unlock you guys' bigger spending potential. As far as like where are you shipping those products to? Because I know space isn't a big problem for a lot of people.
Yeah, so most of my products still come to my own home. I like to do my own prep. If I'm doing FBA, I like to do my own prep. If it's FBM, I like to ship it out myself just because I like that control. If you don't have the space or you don't want to do that, you could always use a prep center. One that I know and that I use somewhat is AOA Prep by Garrett, all out Amazon.
Friend of the show.
Yeah, they're a great prep center. Shout out Garrett. There's other ones as well, but yeah, I don't think space is that big of an issue for a lot of people.
Yeah. So I also ship everything to my parents' house.
Yeah.
We're in a fortunate situation there. So if you do live in like an apartment or a big city like Miami, where we are right now, you could definitely go ahead and check out that prep center. Something interesting with using a prep center is if you live in a high tax state, I live in Arkansas where sales tax is 10%. So if I buy an item that's $10, I'm going to pay $1 in sales tax on that. Or I could send it to a prep center and pay 75 cents to go ahead and not only save money, but also get my prepping done for me. So there's kind of some good loopholes you can use there if you want to use a prep center, and maybe you have to depending on your situation. So there's a lot of different ways to make good money on Amazon, right?
Tons.
Yeah.
So
I would say my primary strategies are like Walmart, all that good stuff like grocery and beauty. I know Miles does a lot of shoes. Like what kind of categories are you into?
I'm mostly in the electronics categories. A lot of my products are just business to business now, but I was doing a lot of grocery, beauty, health and household, shoes. Those are all great categories, and there's really so much opportunity in all of them. You just got to find those right products.
Right. That's what I love. I love getting all DMs from you guys talking about how like I made 10,000 doing this, and there's just so many different opportunities. But like, what made you get into electronics as your method?
So really, the truth was when I was looking at like wholesale lists from distributors and like grocery or like vitamins and stuff, I just didn't like it. I wasn't enjoying it. So I would look through the list and I'd want to like gouge my eyes out while I was doing it. So I was like, okay, I'm like into electronics. I like technology and tech and staying up to date and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me get with some of those distributors, open accounts, get their wholesale list. And it was just a lot easier for me to go through it. I took some classes in engineering, so I'm already familiar with some advanced technology, I guess you say, for like businesses and stuff. So I had that advantage. Like I knew what I was looking at.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just looked at things that I kind of liked already. It was a lot easier.
For sure. Yeah, I think that's a great starting point for all of you guys who are just getting started out. Look for those products that you're like actually interested in.
Yeah.
Things that you enjoy a little bit, like sourcing. Like I know a lot of us like to do sneakers. Like maybe we're into shoes a little bit. I know that's why Miles started selling shoes, is because he likes sneakers. I like sneakers. I didn't get into that myself. I got into the more boring side of books and stuff. But if that helps you stay interested in growing your business, if you want to chase those things you're passionate about, like electronics or like shoes, that's really a great way to go ahead and get started. I think we can go ahead and wrap up here. Do you have anything left to say to the people?
No, I would say keep grinding, don't give up, and I mean take risks. Take risks while you're young. Keep doing it.
Absolutely, yeah. There's going to be a link down below. My man is hopefully going to pump out some content here soon. There's going to be a link to his Instagram if you're going to go ahead and follow him down there. But that is going to do it for this video. If you guys could like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff is going to help me out with the algorithm. But I'll see you guys in the next video.